Good morning, all. I welcome you all to this very introductory session of theme based sessions called the Hindu Analysis Zone. My name is Pritesh Mathurkar. I will be your primary faculty for dealing with the analysis of the Hindu newspaper per se. These being the introductory session, so first 2 or 3 sessions will be primarily with regards to how we are going to deal with the methodology, how we are going to deal with the approach on the giving sessions. So before beginning, I would like to welcome you all on the behalf of StudyIQ English IAS. And from today onwards, we all will be starting a very great journey, basically not great per se but an enjoyable journey wherein you and me will be connecting every morning at 9 a.m. from Monday to Saturday, except Sunday will be a rest day for me and as well as for you all. And believe me, you will be requiring a rest on Sunday because the sessions from Monday to Saturday are going to be highly intense sessions. So Sunday will be a holiday. Rest of all days, we will be meeting sharply at 9 a.m. every morning to discuss the Hindu paper primarily. My name is Pritesh Mathurkar. I'm writing the name on the board, and I am old school faculty in the sense that I tend to focus on the old school methods more. So primarily I'll be using a chalk and a board per se. Times have changed. We have now shifted from offline to online. So the board has become a digital board and the chalk has become a marker now. So these will be our primary tools for interacting with everyone. And I hope and I genuinely have faith in each and every one of you that using these sessions, you'll be able to score good all India rank, because that is going to be my motive with all of you, that using these sessions you should all be able to write great answers, you should all be able to utilize whatever I'm teaching you, and most importantly, believe me, most importantly, you should get something out of these sessions. These sessions will be different from other analysis sessions which you have seen on other different platforms. Why so, I will be dealing with in this later time. But every one of you who will be present or who will be watching these lectures, please don't take these lectures lightly. Okay, these lectures will be highly intense. These lectures are going to be highly detailed sessions. Okay, so any difficulty you wish to ask me, you can directly search my name on Telegram, and I will be your friend, philosopher, and guide throughout your entire preparation. And the channel wherein I will be giving you notes daily, wherein I'll be sending you PDFs. You can just search on Telegram as the Hindu Analysis Zone, the Hindu Analysis Zone. Just search this channel on Telegram. So every day I will be giving you detailed notes of the PDFs that I will be discussing in this due course. This being an introductory session, so we will be primarily focusing on how we are going to proceed in these sessions. Okay. So why we have started this endeavor, as to why we are so keen, why Study IQs is so adamant in giving you this particular sessions. So I will be focusing now primarily on that. And why the Hindu only? Okay, why the Hindu newspaper? Okay, and primarily the analysis of Hindu. Okay, so if you see the name newspaper, okay, I will be dividing it into two. Okay, news and paper per se. Okay, so if you see the full form of news, it's north, east, west, and south, the four directions per se. So you encompass everything in these sessions, you encompass everything in newspaper, all the four directions are taken care of. And paper per se. Okay, paper, it's and present past and present event report, past and present event report. Okay, so why we have to do analysis? Because in civil services mains point of view, you need to move from event report to event analysis. So this is very important, because whatever questions will be asked in mains, they will be primarily analytical questions. So it becomes very important that you move on from the reporting perspective to analysis perspective, and hence the Hindu analysis is very paramount in your preparation, because newspaper reading will help you and newspaper analysis will help you in writing extremely good quality answers. And my simple point of view is why you need to run helter shelter over here and there for current affairs, when wherein you can just cover one source of current affairs, and in that source only roughly 80 to 90% of your preparation is being taken care of. So please don't think that these sessions are only kind of sessions wherein only paper is being targeted. No, in these sessions I will be giving you good interlinkage, I will also be highlighting important issues, and in these sessions I will be giving you utility perspective of these articles too. Okay, so let's move forward. So please make sure that you are comfortable with the fact that it is not only event report, but rather we are going to go towards analysis. Okay, so the first question which comes to everyone's mind is that do we really need to read a newspaper? Do we really need to read newspaper? Second question that comes in everyone's mind, do we really need to analyze the newspaper? Okay. And the third question, of course, that comes, and wherein I was dealing with this question since last 6 or 7 years of experience. Do we really need to make notes of the paper? Okay. So this part of Hindu analysis is where maximum amount of you all aspirants will be facing difficulties. Sir, should we really need to make notes of paper? Okay. So we will be dealing every aspect today of this. So first of all, I'm starting with why you have to read paper. Okay, what you can get out of paper. So is reading paper important? Okay, I tend to quote Shah Rukh Khan over here. Okay, so let's have something Bollywood masala in this session. So I just saw an interview of King Khan. So in that interview, Shah Rukh Khan was saying that when he was around 13 to 12 years of age, so he was sitting with his father. He was having a cup of tea with his father. So uh, every morning, his father used to read newspaper from page one to page the last page of whatever last page of that particular newspaper is. And so Shah Rukh Khan first asked him the first time, Daddy, why do you read newspaper daily? Okay, what do you get out of newspaper? So I tend to quote King Khan's statement over here. So he said that his father replied that, son, see, if you want to see how good your education is, if you really want to assess how educated a person is, ask him to read a newspaper and just ask him whether he or she has understood every tidbit of newspaper per se. Okay, so reading newspaper, why is it important? Because the exam which you all are preparing, the UPSC Civil Services examination, mind you, it's a generalized examination. It's not a specific examination. Okay, it's a generalized examination. UPSC is not demanding that you should be a descendant of Albert Einstein or that Stephen Hawking should be a member of your family lineage. No. What UPSC is asking primarily, UPSC is going to primarily ask you only one requirement, that let's say two prerequisites, that you should at least be 21 years of age and that you should have a graduation degree in any stream or in any kind of education that you have got. So why reading newspaper is important? Because you need to develop that generalized perspective in your preparation. Okay, so please make sure that you are just getting this question out of your mind. Sir, is reading newspaper important? Yes, it's extremely important because of generalized character of civil service examination. Second, why reading newspaper is important? Okay, because in newspaper you get two things. Number one, you get interlinkage of events. Okay, you get interlinkage of events. And number three, and this is highly important, 5 star per se. Okay, you tend to improve upon your vocabulary and you tend to improve upon your analytical skills. Analytical skills. Okay, So what do you mean by interlinkage and what do you really mean by vocabulary per se? Okay. So if you pick up any day's newspaper, okay, and if you start analyzing or you just start reading that newspaper, so you will have questions from all the events that have happened under the sun. So you will have questions from polity perspective. You will have some of the articles, some of the editorials from economic perspective. You will be having some government outlays. You will be having some discussions. You will be having some good text and context. You will also be having some good examples, some good case studies, some good analytics of the budget or any other government document being put forward. So what you learn basically from newspaper is to how to interlink all of the disciplines that are important in civil services examination. I will teach you how you have to interlink this everything, and that is where majority of the aspirants fail in this examination. Okay, I'm being very blunt. I'm a faculty which does not believe only in showcasing you good uh, numbers, only in showcasing you all the bright things, but I tend to focus normally on the things which bring you all down. Okay, 99.9% of the aspirants who fail in this examination, okay, their interlinkage skills are very poor. Okay, so my ultimate objective or my ultimate aim with all of you in this sessions per se is going to be that I'm heavily going to focus on interlinkage of all the parameters that come in newspaper. Okay, so interlinkage is a primary focus target for me in the coming sessions. And number three, vocabulary and analytical skills. Okay, you say what? Okay, what? Okay, those people who say that English is not important. Those people who say that okay, you can deal in your mother tongue. Okay, okay, it's fine. But the service which you are all aiming for, okay, the career which you are all aiming for, English language is going to be of paramount importance or of paramount significance for you all. Hence, you have a compulsory English language paper in your mains. Okay, and no other source, no other um, content or no other notes can improve your language more than newspaper. Okay, words, sometimes you may feel that oh how tough these words are. You sometimes may feel okay how difficult the vocabulary of this editorial is. Okay, so if you feel that okay this is very tough, it's out of my purview, let it go. Okay, nobody is going to ask you very quintessential words, nobody is going to ask you very difficult words. Okay, you have to maintain a steady flow, a good flow in your answers. That is what is needed. And maintaining steady flow, good flow in your answers, you can easily do that by maintaining simple language. Okay, but the words needs to be proper. Okay, so let's say you're writing answer on polity, so your answer should reflect the terms of polity. You are writing answers on geography, so your answer should reflect geographical terms. You are writing answers on policy implementation, policy formulation, because that is what is going to be your primarily job after you become civil servant. Policy formulation, okay, policy implementation. So your answer should reflect these terminologies, and from where you are all going to get this primarily from the vocabulary and from the analytical skills of Hindu. Okay, analytical skills, basically how you can improve analytical skills, because there are some articles, there are some pages exclusively in Hindu wherein you have question answer format. I will be discussing in due course of time. So you tend to improve your analytical skills too in writing. Okay, so I think that this point must be clear with each and every one of you that should we read newspaper? Yes, you have to read newspaper. Okay, those aspirants who do not read newspaper, their chance of qualifying civil services dwindles to zero. Okay, it's important. Okay, but you have to zip through paper. You don't have to sit and read it for 3 to 4 hours a day. That is my role. That is why you are going to attend these sessions. That is why you have to believe in me, keep faith in me that okay, sir is there, and we will just zip pass through the 3 to 4 RDS journey every day. Okay, we will bring that time back to 1 hours, 1.5 hours max. That will be our time scale for dealing with everyday's Hindu. Okay, so reading is now done care of. Okay, should we analyze Hindu? Okay, should we analyze newspaper? Okay, Now, why analysis is important? Okay, the name of this session from wherein we'll be starting our new journey. Okay, why analysis so important in civil services examination? Okay, so if you pick up any mains paper, if you pick up any questions from any discipline, okay, maximum number of questions you will have critically analyze. Okay, you will have critically analyze. You will have explain. You will have discuss. Okay, you will have, okay, comment. Okay, any question you pick up in mains, it will end critically analyze, discuss, explain, comment. Okay, so why analysis is important? Because what UPSC is actually demanding from you all is not only mere information, but analyzing that information and presenting a generalized perspective, and that perspective should be your perspective, not a perspective which is wide open. Okay, what is UPSC demanding in mains is that whenever the invigilator is seeing your copies, okay, that invigilator should know, okay, this point A, point B, point C, point C, okay, this is your workflow, this is your understanding. So when he analyzes your paper, as soon as he finishes one question and he opens up another, that invigilator knows, okay, this is your workflow style, this is your thinking style. So invigilator becomes comfortable analyzing your newspaper. Hence, analysis is very, very important. Okay, maximum aspirants fail in analyzing paper. They only focus on reading paper. They tend to fail in analyzing the paper. Okay, analyzing the paper in the sense of what exactly what you have to analyze in paper. Okay, again, three things what you have to analyze in paper. The first thing, whether the information provided in that article, whether the information provided in that day's newspaper, is it relevant? Is it relevant to your preparation? Is it relevant to your preparation? Okay. Is it relevant to your preparation? Okay. As I told you, maximum amount of time which I'll be spending with you all is going to be in interlinkage. So that interlinkage is going to depend upon whether the article or whether the information that is provided in that newspaper is relevant to your preparation. Okay. So the first thing which you have to do in analysis is to see that whether the information provided over there is relevant to your preparation. And always remember in life too, okay, it is not important what you want. It is very important to analyze what you don't want. Okay. And how to see whether that article is relevant, whether the information is relevant to you, that is dependent only on one thing, that is dependent on how good you have memorized. How good you have memorized your syllabus. How good you have memorized your syllabus. Okay. If you ask any topper, if you ask any person who has qualified this examination in first or second attempt, okay, their primary weapon is that they have memorized the syllabus, they have by-hearted the syllabus. Okay. Mark my words, everyone. Okay, this being an open platform, every one of you are going to see this lecture. So mark my words, if you are not memorizing the syllabus, if you are not by hearting the syllabus, okay, any number of lives you get, you will never be able to qualify civil services examination. That is the harsh truth. Okay. So those people who are going to join me in this journey, those people who are going to be with me throughout the eternity from today on till the time you qualify in the interview round, make sure the first thing that you do is by hearting the syllabus, because what this thing will teach you, what is not important in your preparation, what is not important in your preparation. Okay, I'll be coming to this syllabus discussion in a little bit of time, but make sure that you are memorizing the syllabus today and today itself, because from tomorrow onwards I'll be focusing on the issues, I'll be focusing on the articles per se. Okay, so analysis is very important to see whether that information is relevant, and the relevance will depend upon how good you have memorized your syllabus. So please remember this, okay? And in my sessions, I want each and every one of you to bring in notepads, to bring in registers, to bring in any kind of writing instrument that you have, and you are all taking notes with me, okay? So this is very important. So in analysis, the first point that I discuss is relevance, whether that thing is relevant to you. Okay. Second thing now, okay, why analysis is important. Okay. In civil services examination, what is being demanded out of you? What UPS actually wants out of you is your opinion. Is your opinion. Because once you are interested, once you are given the responsibility of lakhs and millions of people, the way you work over there, the way you put forward your work in the realm of public, it is all going to be dependent on what? It is all going to be dependent on how informed opinion you are forming with regards to that work. And if your opinion formation is very good, if you are able to put out your thoughts, if you are able to pen down your thoughts in mains, your answers reflect it. Your answers will fetch you extremely good marks. Okay. So the second thing why analysis is important with regards to Hindu per se is that you have to form an informed opinion. Okay. And this opinion formation is dependent on two things, how good you have summarized the article, how good you have summarized the article. Okay, I will come down to summarization, don't worry. And how good you are utilizing that article, okay. Utilizing in the sense of what? That let's say you have an article A, in that you are having some information, and that information is very important from, let's say, history perspective, let's say from economic perspective. So how good you are utilizing that information to support your opinion, that will be very beneficial for you all in writing good quality answers. So utilization and, very important, summarization. These two parameters you have to keep in mind when you are forming your own opinion per se. Okay. And the third thing, why analysis is so important. Okay. The third thing, why analysis is so important. Okay. This is again 5 star. 5 star myths. Very, very, very important. Okay. It will improve. It will improve your answer writing skills. It will improve your answer writing skills. See, you must be wondering that why this being the first session and I'm only focusing on answer writing, answer writing, answer writing. Because UPSC Civil Service Examination is all about answer writing. If you have not written answers, if you have not practiced answers, if you have not practiced roughly 400, 500 answers before mains, the chance of your qualifying in mains is almost gone. So answer writing is going to be very, very important. And like I told you that my ultimate goal is teaching you interlinkage. My ultimate goal is to making you realize that how important that article is. In that goal, I'm also adding answer writing skills. Okay. So the issues which I will be discussing with you all, I will be also focusing as to how you can utilize this in your answer writing. Okay. So this is why analysis of Hindu is so important. Okay. So now let's move to the third part of discussion, wherein maximum number of aspirants will ask me, sir, how to make this or how we should proceed. Okay. The third thing which I'll be discussing with you all today is, should we make notes of Hindu? Okay. My simple answer is both yes and no. Okay. Yes and no in the sense that should we make notes? No. Should we make notes? Yes. Okay. So notes of what articles we shouldn't make, it will again be dependent on how good you have memorized your syllabus. But no means what? Which notes you shouldn't make? Okay, if they are headline articles. Okay, if they are headline articles, it's purely data centric article. Okay, data, basically the data which is going to be revised in due course of time. If it is basically with regards to any social conflict, okay, conflict basically any uh, riots, anything, if it is basically with regards to any political development, okay, not from constitutional perspective but in generalized from the government perspective, political development, okay. If it is any other issue, like let's say any um, anything related to cinematography, anything related to any other trivial issues that are happening, so no will include majority of the newspaper, mind you, okay. So notes, you will not make notes of roughly 80% of newspaper, or dare I say 90% of newspaper, okay. 90% of newspaper don't need to make any notes, and some days it might go to 95%, it might even go to 100%, that day's newspaper is you don't need to make any notes, you just have to listen to me, okay, this is important, that's it, okay. But 80% of the paper generally you don't have to make any notes. 90% some days, 100% might be, you might be lucky if there are elections around the corner, so all the articles are basically from the electoral perspective, so don't need to make any notes. Now yes, this is very important. Yes, which articles you need to make notes? The very first thing wherein you will have to make notes, if any article comes from a policy development, policy development perspective, this is going to be very important. So notes primarily with regards to policy development perspective. Number two, if you are having any international or regional regional or local, international, regional or local, okay, I'm including everything, international, regional or local. Focus on this very importantly, okay. This is where you will get confused, sir, whether should we include this or we shouldn't include this. So international, regional and local developmental issues, okay. Developmental issues means what? Like wherein that issue is concerned with grassroots development, grassroots empowerment, the socio-economic threads. That issue is very important from environmental perspective. That issue is very important from regional security perspective. That issue is very important from international security perspective. So such articles need to be summarized very properly. Okay. And the third thing, and the third thing, okay, the notes of which needs to be made, okay, the third thing is of course going to be opinion based articles, okay. Opinion based articles, okay. But opinion of what? That I'll be discussing in due course of time, because in opinion based articles you get the parameters on which the nation should work, you get the parameters on which the civil society should work, and you also get information with regards to how the things are happening in due course of time. So opinion based articles, whenever you will have opinion based articles, if that articles are written by some very eminent personalities, if that article is from a government spokesperson, so that article needs to be summarized. So I will be discussing in due course of time in our sessions as to how we should approach this. So note making, is it important? Both yes and no. Okay, 80-90% of paper you don't need to make any notes. Average 10 to 15% of daily newspaper you have to make notes. Some days it might go to 100%. You don't need to make any notes. You just have to listen to me. And yes, of what? If that article is from policy development perspective, if there is any international, regional, or local developmental issue, okay, wherein you have involvement of the people, wherein you have involvement of the arms of government, and you also have involvement of any other section of society, okay, especially the vulnerable sections of society, women, children, physically disabled, the third gender of the society, and third, opinion based articles. So all of these are going to be very, very important in you making the notes. So I guess now everyone is comfortable that why Hindu analysis is important, or should we read newspaper? Okay, reading is important, analysis is important, and making notes is also very important. Okay, the sessions which I will be discussing from today on, I'm again reiterating, you might get bored with me listening, but the more you repeat, the more it gets imprinted in your brain. That's the law of nature, that's the law of our brain. So I'm again reiterating, these sessions will be very specialized sessions. These sessions will be very intense sessions. Okay. So I expect each and every one of you to bring in notes. I expect each and every one of you to follow the workflow which I will be giving you. If you just do whatever I'm telling you for 2 weeks, the third week you will call and tell me, you will text me, sir, this is helping us like anything. Okay. So now let's move to another higher level, that now I have introduced you to that why newspaper is so paramount. Now I will be venturing into what basically you have to read from newspaper, or what are the hot topics from where UPSC will tend to focus more, or wherein these topics can be asked more in your mains. So I'm now venturing out into the discussion of the syllabus per se, and then I will teach you as to how to approach the paper in due course of time. Okay. So those people who have not yet memorized syllabus, I highly suggest you to download the civil services notification and jump to page number 31. 31 is where you have the syllabus of civil services examination being discussed. So this is the official notification of UPSC, which you are seeing on the board per se. So I'm directly reading from the notification which is there on your UPSC's website. I don't know how many of you must have gone through this, but this is very important. You should all first do this with utmost priority whenever you are dealing with your preparation, or whenever you are starting your preparation in due course of time. See, if you read this, it is written over there. The mains examination is intended to assess the overall intellectual traits, the depth of understanding of candidates, rather than merely the range of information and memory. Okay, I'm again reiterating. So you have to focus on number one, what? The intellectual traits, and number two, the depth of understanding than merely the range of information and memory. So what UPSC is basically demanding from all of you is intellectual traits means you should be highly comfortable with analysis, because analysis will help you in improving your intellectual traits, in the sense of what, that as soon as you analyze one particular article, you will be able to interlink it with different articles, and that is what my ultimate aim with all of you is. See, these are not my words, these are the words of UPSC itself, that you require some intellectual traits. Okay, You must now be wondering, sir, you told in the very opening dialogue that this examination is generalized. You don't need to be highly intellectual. But being intellectual and having intellectual traits is a different thing. Okay. You don't need to be a very great scientist in qualifying this examination. What UPSC is demanding from all of you is that the traits or the properties of intellectual people should be reflected in you all. Okay, the properties in the sense of what, that if you are faced with any issue, like let's say you are the collector of any collectorate and you are faced with COVID-19 pandemic. So your intellectual traits will help you understanding, okay, so this is a pandemic. So this pandemic with regards to what? This is a respiratory disease. So respiratory disease means we will have to keep oxygen levels to the high extent. We will have to provide for ventilators. We'll have to provide for vaccines and all of this. So this is where the analysis of the issue helps you in developing your intellectual traits, where you connect point A to point B, point B to point C, and ultimately you connect point A to point C. Okay, so analysis of that is going to be very important, and understanding of the candidates. Okay, understanding means what UPSC is basically asking you to understand. So understanding is nothing but opinion forming. Okay. You understand, you form an informed opinion on that article, and that is reflected in your answers. Because majority of the questions will be, what do you think? How do you assess? How do you discuss that particular issue? Especially in ethics, GS paper 4 per se. Okay. So GS paper 4 is all dependent on your understanding, on your opinion forming of the issues per se. Okay. See, the nature and the standard of the questions in general studies paper 1 to paper 4 to 5 live that well-educated person. Hence, I quoted King Khan over here. Okay. Well-educated person will be able to answer them without specialized study. See, this is very important, without specialized study. And the questions will be searched to test candidate general awareness of variety of subjects. So this examination is generalized. You should have a well-educated, informed opinion per se. Okay. So this is what is written in your examination. Okay. And the questions are likely to assess candidates' basic understanding level, ability to analyze. This is where newspaper comes handy. Okay. This is where newspaper comes handy. Okay. And take a view on conflicting socio-economic goals. Remember, I told you developments. Okay. Conflicting socio-economic goals, objectives, and demands. So objectives, policy formulation, demands, wherein you put forward your voice. Okay, India being a democratic country, so it's government for the people, of the people, by the people. Okay, so let's now move forward. So I'll now focusing on the hot topics which can be asked in civil services from the newspaper per se. So paper one for all of you is essay. Okay, so if you analyze essay, so what can we do from newspaper which will help us in understanding essay? So mm, I'm just giving you three parameters wherein from directly from newspaper you can quote in your essays. Remember those three parameters? Okay. Number first is relevant data. Relevant data. Okay. Not a data which will be revised, not a data which is old, but only relevant data. Okay. So in due course of time, we will see that, okay, is this data relevant or not? This is not a 1 day process. This is rather a 10, 12, or any day number of days process. So in short, if I'm summarizing, this is not a race, this is a marathon. Okay. So relevant data is very important in essays. Number two, the dimensions you open up. Okay. The dimensions you open up in your essays. So dimensions basically will come from where? Will come from the range of topics that you have gone through in any day's newspaper. So dimension opening in essay is very important. So make sure that your mind is open every day when you are reading newspaper, because that is going to help you in writing good quality essays. Okay. Number third, in essay, directly from where you can quote from newspapers are sayings. Okay, sayings, quotes, quotes, Okay, or governmental words in the sense that I still remember that there was a very famous issue between India and Pakistan with regards to the Indus Water Treaty. So, wherein our honorary Prime Minister he quoted that blood and water cannot flow together. Okay, so these kind of words they do have very good or very high importance or very big dent impact on international diplomacy. So such quotes, such sayings are highly important in you writing the essays. Okay. There is a research scholar called as Jessica Stern. I read this article way back in 2018-19. So she's an expert on terrorism. She's an expert on radicalization. So I still remember her quote when I read in that day's editorial that the disease or the pathogen of terrorism, the disease or the pathogen of terrorism cannot be eradicated from the body, cannot be eradicated from the earth's body unless and until unless and until there is a drug or unless and until there is an opium of economic depravity present on earth. Okay, so this was her famous dialogue which you can quote everywhere, because economic depravity will lead to depression, it will lead to civil war conflicts, and ultimately it will result into terrorism. So such quotes, such sayings are very important, and these you can read it from the newspaper. In due course of time I will teach you as to how you can make a separate diary of these quotes, and these quotes can be directly quoted or these things can be directly used examples as in case studies in ethics and also in essays per se. Okay, so let's move forward. Now your GS paper 1, okay, it is with regards to Indian heritage, culture, history and geography of the world. So what you can get from the newspaper, the hot topics which will be asked from this paper in the newspaper. Okay, so silent features of Indian society, diversity of India. This is a very important hot topic, okay, which can be asked or wherein you can quote newspapers data directly. Okay, role of women and women's organization, population associated issues, poverty, developmental issues. This is very important. Urbanization and their problems and their remedies. Okay, so these two bullets they are very important, from where you can directly source your data from newspaper. Okay, history per se, okay, data is not relevant only if you have any discovery of good archaeological site, or if you have unearthing of any lost history, past history, so that can come in prelims, but this is going to be very important. Okay, effects of globalization on Indian society. Every year you will have two questions wherein globalization will be directly quoted. So this is going to be of highly importance, wherein you can directly quote it from the newspaper. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, if you analyze past 3 years of mains papers, silent features of world's physical geography. Every year you are having 2 to 3 questions. Last year there were 3 questions from this part, and you have also important questions from important geophysical phenomenon like earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanic activities, cyclones, etc. Now, why these two things are very important from your mains perspective, and why you have to do this from newspaper per se? Because we are all living in the era of climate change. We are all living in the era of climate change. So climate change is basically happening because of global warming, and because of this, all of these issues, like all of these parameters are changing. Okay, so cyclones, you all know, like we'll be discussing in due course of time. So cyclones, the intensity of cyclones is increasing. You are having tornadoes, you also are having hurricanes. There was a very famous cyclone last month only. You have a cyclone called as Freddy, which lasted for more than 32 days. It lasted for more than a month. Okay, so climate change. So this is going to be very paramount topic for you all in preparing. So these topics you should primarily target from Hindu. Okay. See guys, I'm discussing the topics. These are all hot spots. These are all hot topics. It does not mean that you will not have any other topics which are important. Okay. So I'm just today painting you which topics you should all focus on more. Okay. Let's move ahead. So now let's come to GS paper 2. Okay, governance, constitution, polity, social justice, and international relations. Okay, in this paper, you have to focus again on three parameters from the newspaper's perspective. Number one, if there is any constitutional development, if there is any constitutional development, okay, you have amendment, you have a change in the appointment process, you have a change in power, okay, you have any new tribunal which is being formed, you have any change in the working of the parliament, you have any issues with regards to the working of the houses of the government. So any issue which is from constitutional development perspective is going to be very important for you all in prelims. Okay, and these articles, they don't come often in the Hindu, but whenever they come, they all come as 5-star articles. Okay, and again, the constitutional development is very important from opinion based perspective. Like, I still remember there was a question on the right to privacy. Okay, it was like UPSC was asking our opinion, like whether this thing that happened is good or bad. Okay, what are the recommendations? Okay, what needs to be done? Okay, so if I dare say that in today's age there is a very potent demand for regulating artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence is moving from AI to AGI. Okay, aggregate general intelligence or artificial general intelligence. Okay, so general intelligence means that you don't need any model, you don't need any algorithm for AI to function. AI has not got its own general intelligence and it can function on its own. So we are slowly moving towards that. You must be remembering the chat GPT. Right now we are having chat GPT number 4, which can even recognize images. It can also recognize some of the videos. So we are slowly moving from AI to AGI. So should we regulate that? Should we have a constitutional law, or should we have some provisions wherein you can have any oversight over there? So constitutional developments is very important in paper 2. Second thing, in from paper 2, which you can target from um, the newspaper perspective, is vulnerable sections. Okay. Vulnerable sections. Every year you will have 3 to 4 questions on the vulnerable sections of the Indian society. So paper 2 per se, vulnerable sections are going to be very important from newspaper analysis. And number three, okay, it's basically engagement of India. Okay. Engagement of India with its neighbors and with the world. Okay. So, and mind you, the engagement is not fixed. The engagement keeps on changing. Okay. It might be multilateral, it might be unilateral, it may be bilateral. Okay. So, engagement of India is wherein you can target from the newspapers directly. And maximum number of articles from the IR part of your syllabus will come with regards to engagement of India. Okay. So, the strategic partners of India. Okay. The international headwinds which are shaping India's international foreign policy, wherein you are having shaping of India's trade policy. So engagement of India with the world is going to be very important. So this is where you can have the GS paper 2 coverage from the Hindu per se. Let's move ahead. Now paper 4, this is where you will have this is where you will have maximum coverage in your max coverage from newspaper in mains per se. Okay. So why I'm saying max coverage? Because if you see the issues, number first you have technology, Number two, you have economic development. Number three, you have biodiversity. Number fourth, you have environment. And number fifth, you have security and disaster management. Okay, all of these issues, okay, all of these issues are current affairs based. All of these issues are current affairs based. Okay, each and every one of this issue is going to be current affairs based. So the answers which you will be writing in your mains will be highly dependent on what data you are bringing in. They will be very important on how informed you are on that article, and very important, what is going to be the future headway of India. Okay, if you pick up the questions which come in GS paper 3 or like the paper 4 of your civil services mains examination, so the questions will be demanding what should be the future way, what should be the forward way for India. Okay, so mind you, any article which comes from this purview in your paper, you have to deal it with utmost caution. Okay, a very recent article I can give you is with regards to the tiger census, or with regards to the 50 years of Project Tiger in India. So there was one article in last Tuesday of Hindu, wherein in just one article they have explained everything. Explained everything means the numbers, the data, the spatial and temporal distribution of tigers, the challenges, and the way forward. Okay, so in just one article, your entire Project Tiger is being taken care of. So these articles are very important for your GS paper 3 perspective. So make sure that you are not skipping those articles at any cost. And if I want to highlight you the hot topics in this paper, so the hot topics are going to be issues related to direct and indirect subsidies, minimum support prices, this particular point. Okay, technology missions, economics of animal rearing, very important. Food processing is going to be very important. Okay, I'm only giving you from the current affairs perspective, not from the conventional perspective. Science and technology. Okay, developments and their applications in effects in everyday life. Okay, awareness in the fields of IT, space, computers, robotics, nanotechnology, issues related to intellectual property, and in this space sector of India. Okay, space sector. Every year you have questions on the applicability of the satellites, on the applicability of navigation, on the applicability of communication technologies with regards to agriculture, with regards to policy development, with regards to digital literacy of India, with regards to the digital foray of government of India, with regards to the digital governance of India per se. Okay, so space sector is going to be very important for you all. Okay, environmental pollution and degradation, environmental impact assessment. Okay, these are going to be 5-star articles for each and every one of the questions that come from this part of the mains. Okay, because we all are living in a era wherein green word has assumed utmost significance. Okay, greening, greening of economy, greening of the environment, greening of the urban spaces, greening of agriculture, greening of transport, greening of international for trade policies. So everywhere we have green, green, green bird being just plastered everywhere. Okay. So mind you, this is going to be a very important hotspot for mains. Okay. Environmental impact assessment. Right now there is a very potent issue which is going on. So there is a beach in Andaman Nicobar, in the Great Nicobar Islands, wherein government of India is planning to construct a port of call. Okay, Galibet Beach in Nicobar. So we have for the first time that a part of India's territory which has been protected with the utmost care, which has been protected for more than 50 years. We are now opening up for development perspectives, and that is going to have a very negative impact on the local ecology, on the local PVTGs, particularly vulnerable tribal groups like Champagnes, like Nicobaris of that area. So such questions now become very important for your mains as well as from your prelims perspective. So make sure that you are also focusing on this part of your preparation very, very importantly. Okay. Now, and of course, the internal security of India. Okay. I'm giving you the best kind of advice whenever you will read articles with regards to this. If you pick up last 4 to 5 years of your mains paper, okay, UPSC is highly focusing on two things. UPSC is focusing on border area development slash border infrastructure. Okay, and UPSC is highly focusing on neighborhood relations. UPSC is highly focusing on neighborhood relations. See, you have to pick up the hot topics which UPSC is focusing. Civil services examination is a ever evolving examination. It's not a conventional, or it's not a static examination. So each year you have to pick up, okay, these are the hot topics which UPSC is asking, and you have to focus on that. Okay, so challenges to India's internal security. Okay, the role of terrorism or the role of extremist organizations. Wherein are the topics being asked? Okay, so border area development, border area infrastructure, and neighborhood relations. Okay, neighborhood means the countries with which we share boundaries. Okay, you might also have countries wherein we have exclusive agreements with those countries. Okay, so any old BITs, bilateral investment treaties, the strategic partners of India. You can also have questions with regards to only those things wherein India is only involved economically, wherein India is only having observer status. So if any organization comes with regards to the threat perspective of India, like you have Quad. Okay, so Quad is very important for maintaining the integrity or the security of the Arabian Sea, the Gulf of Eden, wherein you have piracy, you have pirates which seize control of the India's merchant ships and demand ransom money. So Quad is very important in functioning. So that can be asked from this perspective too, combining international relations and combining the security of India. So please focus on these two issues primarily from newspapers. Today I'm just introducing you. I know that many of you must be wondering that why I'm going in so much detail, but it's my job that I introduce you to all the intricacies of this examination. Some of you must be finding this difficult. I know that this is not easy. This comes with experience, this comes with hard work, but just keep faith in me, just bear with me, and slowly you will all be able to reach that level wherein you will be able to analyze all the issues from the civil services examination perspective. Okay. After that, you have paper 4, ethics, integrity, and aptitude. Okay. From newspaper, you should primarily focus on two things. You should focus on examples. You should focus on examples. And number two, you should also focus on case studies which come in papers. Okay. I will teach you how case studies do come in newspaper. So examples and case studies. Okay, if you have your own register with you wherein you have written all the examples, wherein you have discussed the case studies that have happened in the due course of your preparation, your GS paper full will sell like anything. It will be a very smooth sell. And those people who have not done examples, those people who have not analyzed the issues, you will not be able to write good answers in GS paper 4. So these are some of the hot topics which are very important from the civil services mains perspective, and dare I say prelims perspective too, which you should focus from the syllabus. I'm again reiterating, guys, syllabus is very, very important. Why syllabus is so important? Syllabus is important because if you memorize the syllabus, you get to know what not to read. Okay. And in civil services, what not to read is highly important than what to read. Okay, so no running helter shelter, just one straight single direction like I'm focusing on you right now. That should be your headway. Okay, so let's now move forward. Those people who are watching me or those people who are live with me, you can ask me any difficulties that you have, or you can just post it in the comment section. Those people who will watch after some time, I will be happy to solve all of your queries. Okay, so let's now move ahead. So now let's focus on another important parameter as to how to move ahead with newspaper, as to how to approach any day's newspaper. Okay, so today I will be only giving you a headway as to how you should approach the newspaper. Tomorrow onwards, 1 or 2 sessions I'll be dedicating you as to how you should analyze the paper, and then roughly from Saturday or from Monday I will start sharing with you with the articles of the paper too. Okay, so how you should approach any day's Hindu. Okay, the first thing which you should all take care of, okay, is that you should only prefer Delhi edition. You should only prefer Delhi edition. Okay, why you should only prefer Delhi edition and no other edition? There are two things. Okay, because in any day's Hindu you have a city page. You have a city page, and if you read Delhi edition, so you also have you also have High Court of Delhi, you also have the National Green Tribunal. Okay, you also have another important tribunals which are formed in Delhi. So, and Delhi being the capital of India, Delhi being the capital of India, so it becomes very important that you don't skip the city news or you don't skip the news which are from the capital perspective. So always focus on Delhi edition and no other edition of Hindu. And the second and the most important thing, okay, so this is 2 star, this is 5 star. Okay, I go by star ratings. So 2 star is important, 5 star is extremely important. Okay, highly important. Okay, so 5 star Hindu per se, it has started with 2 additional pages, especially for candidates like you, especially for aspirants like you, because Hindu knows that you all are reading the paper. So for you exclusively, Hindu has introduced 2 pages. And these 2 pages are from where, if you read these 2 pages for roughly 7 to 8 months, I'm guaranteeing you personally, you'll be able to score roughly 300 to 400 marks in your mains. Okay. This being an open session, so everyone can take note of this. I'm saying with utmost confidence that if you read those just 2 pages, if you summarize those 2 pages in a time span of 7 to 8 months, your 300 to 400 marks in your mains are secured. And these 2 pages have been introduced for you all specifically. Okay. The name of the pages are text and context. Text and context. And it is only found in Delhi edition. No other edition of the Hindu has these 2 pages, text and context. And majority of my time will be going in the analysis of this page only, text and context page. Okay. So which edition? Delhi. Okay, city page. Okay, not every news is going to be important, but news related to judiciary, news related to green tribunals, news related to the capital city of India, any good government outlays, any new conferences that, like, we have G20 presidency, so what groups are working over there, so that kind of news. And text and context page. Okay, this is very, very important. You should never skip this page. Okay, and majority of my time will be going in analyzing text and context page. Okay, so let's move forward. So Delhi edition, why we have discussed. Now how you should approach Hindu. So before approaching Hindu, you should know what actually comes in newspaper. Okay, what actually comes in paper. What is there in newspaper. Okay, so if you pick up the paper, this might seem very trivial for each and every one of you, but if you go through this very properly, if you follow this very ardently, you will just sail through newspaper reading and analysis. So if you pick up any day's paper, so the first page is of course the news page, or the headlines page, or the headlines page. After that, the second and third page normally is city page. After that, the fourth, or dare I say the fifth page too, it is north east or southwest page in Hindu. Okay. The sixth and seventh page, it is the editorial page. It is the editorial page, and it is the optional editorial page. Okay. So before introduction of text and context page, page number 6 and 7 were of paramount significance in your preparation. But as now you have page number 8 and 9 being introduced in Hindu, the text and context page, the significance of editorial articles has now been only limited to policy based articles and opinion based articles. Okay, we will deal in due course of time that how you can separate that kind of articles, because now majority of the information, majority of the analysis comes in the text and context page. Okay, so page number 6 and 7 is the editorial op-ed page. Normally page number 8 and 9, or dare I say page number 7, 8, 9, any of the page, it is going to be the text and context page. Then after that, page number 10, 11, 12, you can have the headlines page or the news page continued. Then normally page number 13 or 14, you have the international page, and page number 15 you have the business page, and after that page number 16, 17 you have the sports page. Okay, so this is any days Hindu. If you pick up any days Hindu, so these are the pages that you come, but these pages are not constant throughout the week. Okay, on every Friday, in the op-ed page, you will have a parlay. You will have a parlay wherein you will have a opinion and a counter opinion, and this parlay is very important for you all to forming a informed opinion, okay, and this parlay will normally come on Friday. Okay, so Friday's Hindu is different, so please make sure that you are dealing with Friday's parlay very prudently. Okay, dealing means we will be discussing those parlays too, so make sure that this parlay is taken care of. On every Saturday, instead of the op-ed page, you will have a page called as ground zero. You will have a page called as ground zero. Okay, ground zero is basically a case study. It is basically a case study. Okay, you will ask me, sir, whether should we do this case study every Saturday? My simple answer is no. So every month you will have 4 case studies. Okay, in a due course of 1 year, so 4 per month, so roughly 50 case studies in a year. Okay, 12 multiplied by 4, so 50 case studies. Out of those 50 case studies, only 3 to 4 will be relevant to your preparation, but these 3 to 4 case studies will be those case studies wherein UPSC will ask you direct questions. So just make sure that you are focusing on the case studies very importantly. Okay, so this is with regards to the op-ed page. On every Friday you will have parlay, on every Saturday you will have ground zero. So this is the theme change in Hindu. Okay, so this is from Monday to Saturday. This is from Monday to Saturday. Okay, Sunday's Hindu is entirely different. Okay, Sunday's Hindu is entirely different. It is called as the Hindu on Sunday. Okay, it is called as the Hindu on Sunday. The name itself is different because the paper on that day is different. Okay, so which pages you should read from the Sunday's Hindu? So Sunday's Hindu from page number 1 till page number 9. Normally you have the news. Okay, uh, you have headlines. Okay, regional, local, global. Okay, page number 10, or dare I say page number 11, it is a page exclusively dedicated to science and technology. It is a page which is exclusively dedicated to science and tech. So the analysis of this page is very, very important. Okay, science and tech page. And page number 12. Okay, it is the most important page of Hindu uh, in any week. Okay, it is a page which is even more important than the text and context page. And the name of page. Okay, so this is again 5-star. Okay, so there I say I will add one more star. So let's say this is 6-star page, and the name of the page is FAQ, frequently asked questions page. Okay, so in this page you will have so in the FAQ page you will have three articles. You will have three articles. Each article will be in question and answer format. It will be in question and answer format. Okay, so question and answer format means what? You will have one main central question. You will have one main central question, and following that you will have sub questions. Following that you will have sub questions. Okay, so this is very important from answer writing perspective. This is very important from answer writing perspective. So you are not allowed to skip this page at any cost. Okay, you should never skip this page, because if you skip this page, you will be missing out on the utmost quality of answers which you can write in mains. Okay, so again, this page will be targeted by me exclusively, and we will be dealing with all the intricacies of this page in a very detailed format. And again, I'm saying that not every article is important. You might have on some Sunday that all three articles are important, some Sunday not even a single article is important, or in some Sunday one or two article is important. So in a month, if I'm summarizing, so three per Sunday, so in a month you will be having approximately 12 articles. Of that 12 articles in a month, roughly 3 to 4 articles will be relevant. Roughly 3 to 4 articles will be relevant. So please make sure that you are doing this page very properly. FAQ page, frequently asked questions page. So Sunday's Hindu is different. Okay, and you all on Sunday you also have a supplementary called as the Sunday magazine. Called as the Sunday magazine. Okay, on Sunday magazine. Okay, on page number 1 and page number 2. Okay, again you have a case study. Again you have a case study. Okay, so 4 per week. Again, roughly 50 per year. Out of 50 per year, only 2 to 3 case studies will be important. Only 2 to 3 case studies will be important. Cases important. Okay, not everything. So I will be also discussing with you this case studies which come in the Sunday supplementary. It is called as the Sunday magazine of Hindu. So make sure that we are also focusing on that part. Okay, so now let's move a little bit into the depth of the analysis of Hindu. Today, I'm just introducing you. Tomorrow, we will see the Hindu day by day, and day after tomorrow, we'll start dealing with the articles per se. Okay. So today, just focus on whatever I'm trying to tell you in the depths of it. Okay. So as we have gone through the pages, so what kind of articles should we be focusing on primarily? Okay. On editorial page, on editorial page, on editorial page, you should be focusing on articles which are written by ambassadors, which are written by ambassadors, okay, which are written by HODs of any good universities. Okay, you should be focusing on articles which are written by spokesperson, government spokesperson. Okay, but mind you, this article should not be with regards to any political party outlay. Okay, the articles which focus on the success of any mission. So let's say you have a mission called as Jal Jeevan Mission. Okay, and you have the minister writing the developments which have happened in Jal Jeevan Mission. So that article becomes important. Okay, you have any president, past president, the current president, you have vice president, okay, you have prime minister, okay, or any cabinet minister, or any cabinet minister writing the article, that becomes very important. Okay, you have any foreign, you have any foreign dignitary, you have any foreign dignitary writing the article, it becomes very important. And most importantly, formal national security advisors, okay, the governors of India, okay, the governors of India, okay, and you can also include the directors of the constitutional bodies of India. So let's say you have the head of CBI writing the article, you have the head of UPSC writing the article, you have the head or you have the chairperson of, let's say, writing the article, any formal chairperson. So you should be able to focus on that articles too. So NSA governors or chairpersons writing those articles, this is going to be very, very important. And apart from this, you do have certain authors which write articles in the Hindu. The author's name I will be giving you in due course of time, not as of today. Those authors do write very excellent quality articles, and those articles do reflect directly in your mains. Okay, so today just focus on these things which can be discussed and which do come in your mains perspective. So editorials, do we need to read every editorial? Absolutely not. Okay, don't commit this mistake that you are opening up the editorial page and you are starting from first editorial to side editorials and to lead. You are leading all the four. No, don't make this mistake. First of all, you have to see whether that editorial is relevant to you. Okay, relevance, again, you will be taking care of this with regards to how good you have memorized your syllabus. Second, the theme which I have provided, whether that editorial has been written by any of this or whether the side editorials are relevant from your civil services perspective, then only you should read them. Otherwise, you should directly skip the editorials. Okay, the same thing applies for op-ed page. On op-ed page of Hindu, the optional editorial, so you have a lead, okay, you have a case study over there, okay, you also have a case study over there, and you have a data point on that page, okay. So in op-ed page, data point is very important. In op-ed page, data point is very important. Again, like you will every day you will have data point. So out of every day's data point, not all data points are important. So roughly 1 to 3 data points per month are going to be important. So don't fall for this trap, sir. You are saying data point is important, so we will summarize every data point. No, the data points which I will be giving you to summarize, only that data points you should summarize. Okay. So op-ed page, lead, case study, data point, but of that data point, only 1 to 3 per month are very important. Okay. After that, page number 7 and 8, the text and context page. The text and context page. Okay, so in text and context page, the first page that you have, it is called as the gist. Okay, not allowed to skip at any point, at any cost. Okay, again, whether that gist is relevant to you, depending on that, you should skip, otherwise you shouldn't skip. In gist, you will have again two kinds of gist. You will have explainer gist, and again you will have a data point gist. Again, you will have a data point gist. Both of this you are not allowed to skip. You have to do this depending on the relevance, of that particular gist. Okay. So not allowed to skip at any cost. Okay, the second page of text and context, you will again have two Q&A based articles, question and answer based articles, question and answer based articles. They will teach you answer writing. They will teach you answer writing. Okay, so this is going to be very, very important. Text and context page. Okay. Apart from that, the international page. Apart from that, the international page. Okay. Only if there is a direct engagement of India. Only if there is a direct engagement of India, then only you should do this. Otherwise, the complete international page you can skip. Okay, not need to read anything. Okay, so direct engagement of India, that is only important. Otherwise, you are allowed to skip it everything. Okay, the business page of Hindu. Okay, business page of Hindu. If only you have discussion of any trade pact, any trade pact. Okay, any treaty, any treaty, or you have discussions of WPI, CPI. Okay, then only you should read that article. Otherwise, you are allowed to skip. And yeah, very important. Sorry, I missed that point. Pricing, pricing based articles. They are going to be very important. So, business page of Hindu, you should primarily target these three or four parameters. Okay. So, this summarizes the discussion as to how you should approach any day's Hindu. Now, you must be wondering that, sir, you are going to discuss with us all of this. So, why you are teaching us all of this, that we should do this, we should do that? Now, here comes your homework. Here comes the part where you all should do your work before joining these sessions. What I want each and every one of you from tomorrow onwards is that you should maintain 4 file folders. Okay, GS1, GS2, GS3, and GS4%. Okay, you should maintain these 4 file folders. These 4 file folders are not going to be bulky. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you write 1,000 pages a month. No, these file folders will be very crisp. The more the crispier these folders are, the more your chance of getting all India rank less than 10 in your first attempt only. Okay, dare I say the first attempt, but let's assume that in the very first attempt you are all getting that thing done. Okay, so in these 4 file folders, what you should do is, okay, you should keep on adding the A4 size sheets. So let's say if any article comes from GS1 perspective, you have to summarize that article. I'm teaching you that article, so you are adding it even in GS folder 1. So as you keep on adding articles to this, as you keep on adding articles to your 4 file folders, what will happen? You will have your own current affairs material. You will have your own current affairs material written by you, maintained by you. This will help you immensely in your mains as well as prelims. As well as prelims. Okay. And in this 4 file folders, you should make 2 columns, or you should make 2 subdivisions. Number first, headline articles. Headline articles. Okay. And number two, you should make in-depth articles. So this two things, or these 2 columns, you should make in your 4 file folders. And I want each and every one of you to bring these 4 file folders before coming to these sessions, because I will be keeping on adding this in your notes. Okay, so this is your first homework today. The second homework I'm giving you today is that you should all mug up the syllabus before coming tomorrow, because syllabus is, again, I'm again reiterating, I will be saying this 1 lakh times in all the sessions that we'll be having. Before if you don't memorize the syllabus, nothing is going to be making any significance, or nothing is going to make in any sense to you all in civil services preparation. Okay, so the first work which I've given you is to make the 4 file folders, and the second work I'm giving you is to memorize the syllabus. Okay, now why I'm focusing on coverage of Hindu like this? Okay, please understand this very properly. Okay. This was supposed to be my first part of discussion, but I deliberately kept it to the very last. Why I'm asking you to summarize paper like this? Because see, in mains, you have only 3.5 months to prepare. You have only 3.5 months to prepare. And in 3.5 months, and in that 3.5 months, if you keep on running helter skelter for different academic notes, your preparation is not going to suffice you. But just imagine that you have already summarized 300 articles. You have already summarized 300 articles. Okay, some of them in Q&A format. Okay, just imagine that you have done this for around 1 to 1.5 years. So where you have to run now? You have your own 4 file folders. You have your own material wherein you can trust directly. Okay. So make sure that you are maintaining this with utmost integrity. Integrity is very important in civil services. Without integrity, there is nothing. Okay. So just make sure that you are maintaining this 4 file folders, very, very important. Okay. And the last part of today's discussion, that how we will be doing from tomorrow onwards. So tomorrow I will be showcasing you the different days newspaper, and in that I will be teaching you as to how to skip the articles. Skip means which articles are important, which articles are not important. Why I'll be teaching you this? Because from the day I start discussing articles, before you all join this session, the third work which I want every one of you to do, and this work will make a officer out of you. Dare I say this? This work will make an officer out of you. This work will make a genuine civil servant aspirant out of you. Before coming to any day's class, you should have marked up which articles are important and whether those articles match with me. The day your articles start matching with me, the day you see that okay, the gap between you and me is narrowing, you should have a big smile on your face that okay, yes, we are on the right track. Okay, so the third homework, and this homework you have to carry on till the time you clear your interview round, you get good all India rank, you send me something in the form of gift. Okay, I'll be waiting for that. And once you qualify, you become a civil servant, then also you are appointing a personal secretary for reading your Hindu. He's also summarizing that for you, because paper reading is what is going to make you an educated officer. Okay, before otherwise it's of no use. Okay, so before coming to any day's class, you should have marked up the articles. You should have marked up the articles. Okay, don't need to read this, just mark the articles, and whatever articles I will be discussing with you all, the articles which you have skipped, you should first analyze, okay, why I did skip this article, how come it not uh, put up a dent in my mind, okay, that this article is important. So you should analyze that too. Okay, why this article was important and why did I miss that article. Okay, so this you should work on any day's paper. Okay, so I'm just summarizing the session for each and every one of you. So, is reading newspaper important? Yes, it is important. Is analyzing newspaper important? Yes, it is important. Is making notes? That too is important. Okay, all of these three things are important. Second, how you should approach the newspaper, that I have explained today. Your approach should be on the basis of syllabus coverage, whether that news is important to you from the civil services syllabus perspective or not. So relevance is going to be of very importance. Skipping the articles is that much of significance too, because if you skip the unimportant articles, you are only left with the significant chunk, and that you can finish up in just, dare I say, 45 to 1 hours, and that should be our primary target. Okay, before coming to every class, you have to do a homework. That is, you have to mark up the articles. You have to see whether this article is relevant with me or not. And once I start discussing with the articles, you should jot down the important things in that article. And I'm also now giving you the name of the channel wherein I will be putting up those articles on a daily basis. So take the name of that channel too. And you are maintaining 4 file folders. You are maintaining those 4 file folders, and if possible, you are also submitting the PDF of that to me. Okay, I will be very happy if any one of you becomes enlightened, any one of you becomes highly motivated by this session and start doing this. I'm again cautioning you, if you are not comfortable with newspaper, if you have not done newspaper analysis, qualifying mains is very, very difficult for you all. Okay. So I'm again reiterating, my name is Pritesh Mathurkar. You can directly reach me on Telegram. You can just search my contact. You can directly reach me, Pritesh Mathurkar. The name of the channel wherein I'll be focusing on the PDFs, it is called as the Hindu Analysis Zone. Okay, I'm writing in capital, but it is all in small. The Hindu Analysis Zone. Okay, you can join this channel for everyday's PDFs, and you are working on that, and using this channel you are maintaining your 4 file folders. Okay, you are maintaining your 4 file folders. Okay, so here I stop today's session. I hope that this session was an enlightening session for all of you, and you benefit from all these forays which StudyIQ has started for each and every one of you. And I pray and I hope that you are all will be connecting with me in great numbers and will be dealing with this journey in the most beautiful way. Okay, so I thank every one of you. Have a good day, and let's meet tomorrow at 9 a.m. Thank you.